Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman and I talk about all things horror. And today we're talking about 13 Ghosts. This is I'm just going to say Tony Shalhoub, Matthew Lillard modern remake from like 2000, 2001. The post-Scream remake. And yes, it has Matthew Lillard. And he's going to give you some Scream vibes, let's be real. So 13 Ghosts is a horror movie, haunted house type movie, where it's basically an R-rated Ghostbusters, is basically what it is. You have a team of scientists who are ghost hunters who are trying to capture 12 evil spirits, what basically ghosts. And we find out through the course of the movie, spoilers, the reason they're doing this is because the ghost hunter dude has built a mansion that is basically a Hellraiser puzzle box built into a house that once all the ghosts have been captured and their energies have been harnessed will open a door to hell and let, I don't know, the evils of hell up on loose upon humanity. I don't quite understand the bad guy's motivation. Why does he want to open a door to hell? Is he nihilistic? What's the deal? I don't fucking know. They don't give us an answer. Now, I'm going to tell you this is a Scream clone, in that this is post Scream. This is a horror movie that is sort of self aware, but it's not making references to horror movies or commentary or, you know, things like that. It's not a spoof. It's a legit scary movie. However, it's got a couple of choices that made me scratch my head. Choice number one, Matthew Lillard is a psychic in this movie who is Matthew Lillard times 10. He has just gone through the roof. He looked at Scream and said, no, that was me on sedatives. This is the real me. And holy shit, does he go through the roof. But it's good. He gives a damn good performance in this movie. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. I like it. I don't know her name. Forgive me. But the girl from what's it called? American Pie, the European exchange student girl who, gets naked and tries to have sex with the main character, who also made an unfortunate appearance in Jack Frost, which I've already reviewed. And anyways, it's who she is. You know her when you see her, but I can never remember her name because she has kind of a forgettable name, and she's not like an A-list celebrity. She's just like a cameo in movies. So I apologize to the actress. I'm sorry. I just have a hard time with names, especially when you've only been in like 4 movies I've seen at this point. And let's be real, one of them was Jack Frost. So I'm sorry. Your career has been unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then there's Tony Shalhoub, which really had me going, what the fuck? If you don't know who Tony Shalhoub is, he's Monk from the USA Network um, comedy series, not quite sitcom, but comedy detective show, Monk. But he's also Jeebs from Men in Black. He's the one that gets his head blown off. He's the gun dealer that Kay blows his head off, and then it grows back. He was also in a TV show called Wings in the early 90s, which is where he got his start. The point I'm trying to make is he's a comedian. He is not an actor. He's not a thespian. He is not a B movie, horror movie staple. He's a comedian playing a serious role in a serious horror movie. And I'm sorry, he is miscast. He should not have been the lead of this movie. Does he pull it off? No. He has like he tries. He's got the sweating down. He has the nervous face down. He looks like he's legit confused. What am I doing half the time? And the other half the time, he's sweating his balls off because he's either scared or he's just in emotional turmoil because he's facing, the ghost of his dead wife, or he has to rescue his kids from this haunted mansion full of murder ghosts. He's not a compelling character. I don't really know what his role in the movie is, other than he's like the guy we follow. I don't really know what his profession is. I think they said he's a math teacher, which never ever comes up in the movie other than a throwaway line. He's if he is a math teacher, and he says teacher, so not professor, which means I'm assuming high school, public school, does not make a lot of money. So what's confusing about that is how the hell on a single man's salary with two kids, a math teacher, how can he afford a live-in housekeeper or whatever she is? I don't know, nanny? How does he have the money for that? Is he on government assistance or what? Is his family members paying for the nanny? Because at first, I thought she was his girlfriend or his wife, but he shut that down real well. She shut that down real quick. She's like, "Oh no, I'm hired help." She is your stereotypical, you know, black woman in a horror movie. You know, it's unfortunate. She's got all the lines, but she's also like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." So she's also kind of like pretty much just there. You would think to pad the body count, but there's no body count. Like two people die in this movie, and they're both the people that are supposed to die. The scummy lawyer and the villain of the film. That's it. Nobody else dies in this movie. Everybody else is already dead, which is disappointing because it's a phenomenal looking movie. It's gory when it needs to be. The creature designs, the ghost designs are scary and effective, but you're really here to watch this family try to escape from this Hellraiser puzzle box turned into a house. And also, I guess, quips comedy question mark. The comedy doesn't work for me in this movie. It's not funny, and it feels like it was tacked on because, hey, Scream did it, we can or should too. Because, Scream was a massive fucking pile of money for the studio. So everybody's like, yeah, let's just do that because that makes money. That's how you make money. And it's like, no. Yes, obviously Hollywood is a business, but you as the filmmaker, your goal is to tell a story and then make it in a way that satisfies the studio so they give you the money to make the goddamn movie. Your goal isn't how can I ape other movies to make this a success? Because accountants do not make good directors. And I feel like this movie was made by a paint by numbers committee. They literally sat down and said, "Oh, Scream was successful. It had Matthew Lillard. Get Matthew Lillard. Scream had tongue in cheek horror. All right, or humor, excuse me. Let's try that. Scream had a comedian for a lead. All right, let's get a comedian for a lead." And it's like they just went down the checklist and they checked all the wrong boxes. And is it a good movie? Yes. I enjoy it, but this movie feels like it is a movie by committee. It doesn't feel like it was somebody's singular vision. Nobody sat down and said, "No, I've got an idea for a movie, let's make this." Now, I don't know if that's the story behind the scenes or not, but that's the impression I get. This movie feels like a movie by committee. And that aspect of it makes me a little leery. Is it a buy? Yes, because the visuals are shocking and effective. The story, I don't give a fuck. Whatever. There really isn't a story. There's just like, I guess, ghost hunters, whatever. That's it. You're here for the ghosts. Now, you want there to be bloody kills, and to be fair, there are more than two kills in this movie. I exaggerated, but the kills are effective. They are bloody when they need to be, and they work. They work for whatever this movie's trying to be. So I do recommend this movie. I enjoyed it. I will watch it again. I haven't bought it yet, but I definitely will. And I think you should too. This is probably one of those. Let's watch Scream, and then let's watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. We'll skip the Scream calls. Let's watch Urban Legend, and then throw this on to cap it off. That's what this movie feels like. This is like, you know, I think this movie feels like it should have been the end of the Scream era, the post Scream era, but it definitely feels like whoever made this movie was like, they just had a spreadsheet of everything they thought was in Scream, and they're like, yeah, let's do that. Because this movie feels like it's trying to be Scream when it shouldn't be. And unfortunately, that was every horror movie that came out after Scream. So this is the Scream period. And that does hurt this movie a little bit. It does date the movie quite a bit because you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely post Scream. But it's not bad. Scream's a goddamn legend. Urban Legend is a goddamn good movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a goddamn good movie. So yeah, I'll put this up there with them, but in descending order. Scream, and then just in the order that I mentioned them. This movie is the lowest on the totem pole, but it's still, on the totem pole, if you will. So there you go.